Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tu Yang. Thank you so much for being here. And also thank you for 7,000 plus subscribers. Looks like we've hit that mark, and I have some music for you that will be available on this channel as well as Spotify, etc. And just as a thank you for all of you. And today we're going to proceed with what I had for you last week. We are going to be listening to Avi Kaplan's All Is Well live at the Sunset Sound. And so I'm really excited to share this with you. For those of you that know my format already, great. And if this is your first time here, what I do is I don't just react to the music. It's a reaction because it's my first time listening to it, and so I have no idea what's going to happen. But it's also an evaluation and analysis in that I'm listening to vocal technique, I'm listening to musicality, purpose of music, context, and we try to bring that all together either through theory, through emotion, through context and interpretation. And what I try to do, what I strive to do at the very least, is rather than sympathize with the artist's output, I try to empathize, meaning that I'm not just reacting to the emotional output, but also trying to figure out, okay, what was the reason for this phrase? Why is this phrase important? What are the words, if there are any? And how do we build that within our own voice? Or how does that make us, what happens if we were to be in that position singing this, or if we were to interpret it in this way? And so I try to find those different dimensions and bring them to you, because that's just what I do as a music teacher. I listen for all those things, and sometimes it's best that I don't get the first, it's best that I just listen to it for the first time rather than preparing something for you, because I mean, I can do that too. It's just, it takes a lot of time, and I'd rather have something that's a little more visceral in this case. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. I had a request to not worry about the 20-minute mark, so I'll try my best not to limit myself and also not to speak so much that I'm pulling you away. Oh yes, that's right. If you have not heard this piece, please go ahead and watch and listen, and then come back here and we'll do the evaluation together. I'll have a link below for you for that, and all the information from Avi's video will also be below. Just to, obviously, you don't need me to tell you to support him, but for all of my colleagues and all of my musicians that I work with or that I see, it's always important that you support them in any way possible. And these evaluations are educational in that sense, and I'll try to see if I can stay in that lane for as much as I can, just as requested by most of you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin.
I dove into the dark, and I swear I almost drowned, but I could see the stars looking up as I was sinking down. All is well. All is well. Heaven and wherever I go, all is well in my soul. All is well.
Wow, this is what I really just enjoy is the way everything is set up from the very beginning. If we move back there, let's see if I can get back there. There we go. So we have this this organ and guitar. So we are in G sharp minor, A flat minor. Just something to note, I'm not a guitarist by any means. I'm really enjoying where he's strumming just a little bit away from the whole, and it has that brightness to it, and it cuts a little bit more. And so I don't know if that's a guitar technique specifically. What I do enjoy is I do like the articulation difference between the organ and the guitar. So we have this, I think. Let's hear it. Yeah, and so we're not really grounding any bass right now. It's still very guitar strumming. And so staying on that fifth, whenever you have music that stays on that fifth degree, to me, every time I hear it, it reminds me of something that's floating. So there's no grounding here, right? At least that's not what I'm hearing. Yeah, there's a little bit of it. It's just not. It's still quite subtle. I think I hear the beat in the organ, and it's very light. And also, he's making, as for a bass voice, he's definitely making space for him just sonically, and the phrase itself. I like that it's very spoken, very tender, as well as intimate. And microphone choice, that's I'm used to using the Sennheiser 441 on brass instruments, so it's interesting to see it on voice, and I believe there are some things going on there too. So I'm talking about the microphone that Avi's using, and it works really well. So
I dove into the dark, and I swear I almost drowned.
And so we've talked about question and answer, consequent and antecedent, or antecedent and consequent, and where you have this phrase that sort of asks a question, and then there's an answer that follows through. So we have this. Yeah. And so he's not fully answering you yet, because we're not going back to the tonic per se, but there is somewhat of an answer with a comma or a semicolon that goes on. And just musically, it's the melody is simple, but it's also very accessible. So for us, when we listen, it's easier to connect with, right? There's no preparation, there's no exposition where you have, or scalar movements, right? It's not. It's not trying to build you with, okay, here we are in this key. It's just organ, guitar, couple of chords that puts us in right in the key, and here's my melody, and here are the words as well.
But I could see the stars.
There it is.
Looking up as I was sinking down.
It's very conversational.
All is well.
And that's the beauty of this. Like it feels like it's not quite legato. It's almost like we're kind of speaking with a few pauses here and there, and then this chorus comes up, and then you have this piano. That's interesting, because as the percussiveness of the piano isn't fully realized. It's acting like a sustained instrument, almost like it's rechanneling the organ sound into the piano with just the articulation at the beginning to emphasize that downbeat. But then it's sustaining, and it's providing that extra sustain, and including the voice. What Avi's doing with his voice, he's now also stretching. He's not just going, let's hear it again.
all is well.
Right, he could have gone, all is well. But he doesn't want to break that up because now we are in the chorus section. There's more sustain, there's more emphasis. The harmonies open up a little bit more. They're no longer not just in closed position.
All is well.
There it goes again. A little bit of a change there.
Heaven and wherever I go, all is well in my soul. All is well.
And then ending on the fifth line, all is well.
Now I've landed in life, and my eyes can finally see the darkness in my mind was the path to set my spirit free. All is well.
So now the bass is entering.
All is well. Heaven and wherever I go, all is well with my soul. All is well.
And so having the bass enter in just really roots us into the music, right? So we have this whole time.
I see
how you have the beat. This is
the darkness in my mind.
right. So just really just keeping the pulse for us and emphasizing internally what we feel already. And it's interesting to me whenever I hear folk style music where it has the rhythm is really on the beat. We're taught to clap. You clap on 2 and 4, etc. Whereas the clapping itself is not really to show to show the upbeat or to show 2 and 4. Sometimes for a lot of people who grew up with music that's similar to this, or if you grew up in certain churches where they clap, the clapping occurs on every beat, or the emphasis on the transient sound is on every beat. That's where you get that idea of 1 and 3. We talk about, I know people joke about, friends don't let friends clap on 1 and 3. When you think about the ideal of it, what they're trying to do is they're emphasizing the internal rhythm that is consonant with the music. So the clapping probably shouldn't be a high-pitched snare type clap like that, but maybe what if it were a bass clap, a low-pitched one? You can't really hear that because my noise filter is probably cutting that out, or you probably did. But this is just a really long way of me saying the rhythm has weight on beats, and sometimes that's what people gravitate to, rather than clapping on the offbeat, which is what the music needs to propel itself. They are emphasizing the downbeat because the music is being driven in that manner. So the bass comes in a little bit later here, and just notice how the sound just starts to warm up completely, almost as if all the overtones that Avi has set up is now moving forward, and also in a complete set.
Was the path to set
so no bass yet, and right here.
Free. All is well. All is well. Heaven and wherever I go, all is well with my soul. All is well.
Now, if you notice the chorus, we have So I'm just kind of outlining a little bit of what he's doing. I'm positive that wasn't what the melody was, but he's in a pentatonic scale for the most part, with the added, almost that neighboring tone, just to move up in his when he's singing that all is well. And so I've said it before, the beauty of the pentatonic scale, and then pentatonic plus when you add other notes, or when you adorn the scale with neighboring tones, passing tones, non-chord tones, etc. You actually have a built-in melody just within that scale itself. And when we talk about scales, modes, etc., you have your major, right? And notice how linear that sounds. It goes, dum bum 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 bum, and we have that there. And when you think about the recipe for a melody, you should really also be thinking about proper voice leading. There's something about melody and proper voice leading that actually is synergistic, meaning that if there are skips in between and there's contrary motion, so if I just go, rather than going straight on a B major scale, what if I left out the fourth and the seventh? Then I get bum 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 bum, and in that scale itself, I have a natural skip, which is between the D sharp and F sharp, and then also G sharp and B natural. Now, all I do is I alternate the motion, and all of a sudden I get this melodic feel, because now we've set up the recipe for a melody or a melody type sound is to have skips, contrary motion, good voice leading, as well as rhythms that mimic speech, or that have speech-like qualities to it. So not rhythm, right? It's not just. So that's something that a drum or an instrument that has transient qualities would emphasize, either a keyboard or guitar. But what he's doing, that melody, I want you to listen to it one more time when he goes up, and then the melody feels like it's moving a little bit more. I think it's right about here.
Heaven, hell, wherever I go, all is well with my soul. As well with my soul.
All is well in my soul. So just within that movement, he's accomplished giving you the imprint of the melody, and really just staying within the pentatonic scale. And for us, we perceive that as, okay, there's skips, there's movements, it's not scalar, it's not harmonic, right? He's not just staying on B, 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 then E, 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 C sharp, and then F. He's not staying on on just a couple of notes where it feels like it's a bass line. He's also not arpeggioing, it's arpeggioing, if that's even a word, right? He's not just. So all of this is just to say is that this is very well written, and I love the dynamics, and I love the introduction of everything. It goes from simplicity to some complexity, and yet still very, very accessible to us as a listener. And the bass voice from Avi, and I've loved his voice ever since I've heard it, is that it's very soothing as well, and it's very calm, and so it fits the gesture that he's trying to give you, or the overall context of this piece. He's not employing his classical training there, where, okay, it's an F sharp and I need to project over an orchestra. No, I have a Sennheiser 441. Here's a guitar. Here are the backup instruments, and this is my message. And so these things are all very, very well crafted. I love this composition. Yep.
All is well. It's the smoke, it's
Okay, so now we are in a different plane. It feels like it.
It's the air.
Let's go back a little bit here.
Well,
So right about here.
it's the smoke.
So now we're going to the minor 2, C sharp minor, and then G sharp minor,
It's the flame. It's the air.
F sharp minor, major,
Rain.
and C sharp minor.
It's the burn and wash away. It's the change, and it's the same.
Notice how this right here, because it feels like we're in a different plane of music, because we're no longer in that. And going to the 2. So it's almost as if we are we're doing a 4-1. In minor, but really it's functioning, if you want to think of it that way, because it's just 4-1, and then that'll be flat, that'll be 5 in B, or a flat 7 in minor. And listen to the iso rhythms, meaning that the rhythms that are very much the same in the music, in his singing specifically.
It's the smoke.
Da, da, da.
It's the flame.
It's the flame.
It's the air.
And notice how everything begins with the word "it's," right? And so he's also coupling that with rhythms that are familiar with you as he's singing the words. And it's short, right? It's not listen to it again. We talked about it being long. I didn't realize he was going to do this, but it makes sense now.
All is well.
Well, it's short.
It's the smoke. It's the flame.
Notice how that's short.
It's the air. It's the rain.
And it's not necessarily short, meaning that it's detached or staccato, but it's short in that the vowel vanishes without breaking the phrase. So listen to that one more time.
It's the smoke. It's the flame.
Yeah, he's not saying, it's the smoke, it's the flame. It's the smoke, it's the flame. Right? So the vowel is vanishing, but the phrase is not broken up. So it gives us that illusion of, okay, this is not just a chorus, but this would be our C section, or the A, B, and C, or this would be the bridge, typically in popular music. And so it's interesting, because you would think that why not just sing it the same way, but really the differentiation, which is very subtle, is pulling back that vowel, which is something you probably wouldn't want to do in other genres, but it's very effective in speech. So there's something important about vanishing the vowel but not breaking the phrase in this case.
It's the smoke. It's the flame. It's the air. It's the rain.
So even the word ash is not, it's the ash. It's the ash. And then he goes from there, right? Amidst the rain.
It's the burn and wash away. It's the change, and it's the same.
And so the beauty of this bridge is that it's not him going louder and higher, right? If you're thinking of just terrorists, seeing the dynamics where you're stacking instruments and going more and more, it goes up to a certain point, and the emphasis, or rather the de-emphasis of the line is what makes it so unique, and what makes it a bridge as well for us in our mind. Because is he going to go, is he going to go here and open up his voice and have it be really, really big? Or it's like, no, it's from de-emphasizing what he was doing earlier, he allows the music to really speak for itself. And, sometimes someone speaks to you, they actually can speak volumes by simply giving you what's proper and beneficial for you in that moment. And they could probably only say a couple of words, and yet it has so much meaning or so much weight to it. And so this piece, as I'm listening to the words, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are, because I can't go back and listen to them, but I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on what the words mean to you, or what his intention was when composing this as well. And so let's just move on. We're almost done here.
All is well.
Sustain. Yep.
All is well. Heaven, wherever I go, all is well.
And the beauty of this right here is to have everything drop out except for the chord, the chord on the downbeat, right?
And it's the same.
So right here we have
all is well.
The piano
all is well.
In this moment where he is essentially by himself, now almost solo minus the piano in the background, giving the chord structure as well as the rhythmic downbeat. It's very effective, dynamically, even within the music. It's great because it follows the idea of, okay, what part is important. And rather than emphasizing and shouting louder with music, making things more louder, making things higher and more powerful, it's the point of actually pulling back and really, really just, okay, this is my message. This is what's important. All is well. All is well. And so that has a different affect to the context of this piece, rather than just saying, all is well, shouting all is well. It's actually, no, it's zoning in, making that connection, all is well. And let's go ahead and finish out this piece.
Heaven, wherever I go, all is well. Time will tell, and I will know, all is well. In my soul, all is well. Heaven, hell, wherever I go, all is well in my soul. All is well.
And I believe I lost audio there. That would be my fault. Let me see it. Am I able to fix this, or is it locked? Yeah, it's locked off right there. So unfortunately, he just ends with all is well on the 5th. Is what it sounds like. All right, very, very beautiful work. I hear, with the power of social media and everything, you hear bits and pieces of these things, and for me, my ears are usually drawn toward that. And granted, I don't have perfect pitch or anything, and I don't try to figure out everything. What I do try to listen for is intention and also purpose. Like why did he end on the 5th? Why didn't he go all is well? Maybe, just maybe, I might be digging a little too much here, but maybe he wants you to stay with him afloat. Sometimes when we think about all is well, if you were to go back to the tonic, then yes, all is well. Then it sounds like everything is well, is complete. So you're great. But what if you stayed on the fifth? All is well. Then that gives us, just musically, that means that there's maybe everything's okay for now, but I'm not quite sure, and I might want to take you on another journey, or I might need you to join me in on another journey with that fifth, because the fifth is, if you think about the five in the chord, it's a half cadence, and it leaves us hanging somewhat. And so even though the chords, we sound like we're on a one, the fact that the voice ended on a fifth can also means that maybe, just maybe, what his intentions were is to have you feel it's like, hey, everything's going to be okay, but I still need you. I would still want you to be here, or I might need some more help, or who knows what it is. It's that sense of not quite finished, and at the same time within the context of being finished. And so that's it. That's everything. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Yes, there are a lot of requests for Diana and also Dimash, and so I'll do what I can do. For the most part, things are a little busy as there is just a lot going on. So I'll do what I can. And of course, the music, do not forget about the music. I'm telling myself that. Do not forget about the music. I will see you all next time, and hopefully I'll have a song ready for you by then. If not, at least another video going on forward. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.